Hello fish fools, Jeff here. So how about an update on this 5.5 gallon aquarium? I did just move a bunch of fish into this tank over the weekend. I transferred fish from 4 other tanks into here. But before I moved those fish, I had these white clouds. So right now I'm down to 4 white clouds in this tank. I did have as many as 10, but recently one just disappeared in the last week or two. Of those 10, 5 just disappeared. Along the way, only one I found dead, one dead body. Just a while back, I just blinked. I had 10 white clouds in here, I blinked, and then there were 7. And then I blinked again a couple days later, down to 6. Maintained 6 for a while, then found 1 dead, and then just recently another one disappeared. It's weird how fish just disappear. I guess they get eaten or they just get abducted by aliens. Whatever happens, I don't know. So I had these white clouds in here for a while. Like I said, I had as many as 10. They've never spawned or had babies. I haven't been able to breed them. Supposedly white clouds are easy to breed, but they have not been for me. Not that I've really done anything to try to get them to breed. I mean, they're not as easy as just putting them in the tank and then they're just automatically going to have babies. At least not as easy as platies or guppies, live bearers. But maybe at some point down the road I might make a concerted effort to try to get them to breed. So I don't know if it's because my water is too hard. Crazy hard water here. It's like off the charts of hardness test kit readings. It's great for the live bearers, but maybe not for white clouds. And maybe if they were species only, perhaps they might breed. Maybe they've had eggs, possibly, and the other fish have eaten them. But yeah, so I'm down to 4 white clouds, and I did have, I still have, but there's 3 male guppies that I had were the only other fish in here until this weekend when I added more. So there's one up there, one here, and the other one back here. So there's 2 like this and 1 like that. Those were born in this tank. When I first, at the beginning when I first had this tank, I put some female virgin guppies, some of the first born guppies that I had when I got back into the aquarium hobby almost 2 years ago. So I had those virgin females in here, and I moved a male lyre-tail guppy from my mutt guppy tank to join them, and these 3 guppies in here that are adults now were born over a year ago, and those are the 3 that grew up, and their parents died. I also had some platies, a varieties platies in here before, and those died. This is the tank I had camellinus worms. So I think, that contributed to, I know that contributed to the live bearers dying. And I did multiple treatments with levamisole on this tank, so I believe all the camellinus worms are eradicated, but these 3 male guppies survived that. So then this weekend I just added females to join those males. I added that female from my 30-gallon, 2 wild guppy females that are colorless, these 2 from my wild guppy tank, and this one from my 2-gallon that was born in my 2-gallon tank, the one guppy that grew up healthy in that tank. And I added Varietas platies, a pair of marigold Varietas platies from my 30-gallon. This one was a juvenile that came along for the ride when I brought those over. And somewhere in here is a red wag female platy. I don't see it, but that came with the, from my 30-gallon. Oh, there it is, right here. And let's see, I also brought in some shrimp. So my shrimp, my 3.5-gallon neocaridina shrimp tank, I brought 5 cherry shrimp over. I did see one in the Java moss in here. Oh, it's hard to see with the glare, but you can see the red right there. That's a cherry shrimp. One of 5. So this is the only aquarium that I have cholla wood in it. I guess that's good for shrimp. Like they can, you know, with the holes they can go inside. So what the hell is cholla wood anyway? It's not even really wood, it's cactus. It's like, the best way to describe it is like cactus skeleton. That's what is left over when a particular cactus dies. Cacti, plural. But, you know, it's common in aquariums and it's a good hideout for shrimp. And there's, what came along with the shrimp was a little guppy fry in my 3.5-gallon tank. And I did just see it moments ago, so it has lasted. So we'll see if I can get a shrimp population going in here and see we can get some guppy babies. And I never did have platy fry in here, or at least I never saw any when I did have the platies previously, before the camelinus worms wiped them out. So see how that goes. I've got a Java fern right there on that dragonstone, or oka stone. I got at my local fish store. I just threw that in the middle here. This Java moss is not in the greatest shape compared to my other tanks, because this, you know, the lighting on this tank is poor. You know, without, it's just the little light in the hood that came with this kit. But it's actually, it's kind of good so it doesn't grow too fast in here like my other tanks with good lighting, or just everything gets all tangled. Alright, so that's what's going on with this tank. And if you've made it this far, and if you've been paying attention to some of my previous videos, about 2 weeks ago I mentioned that I was looking to give some fish away for free. And last week I mentioned that the conditions of doing so. So the first person, if you look interested in getting some fish for free, I want to give away a pair of platies, I want to give away a pair of guppies, and I'll give away some shrimp, some cherry shrimp, and some plants. So, no one has met the conditions yet. The first person to do so will get some fish if you'd like. You know, I want to do that because I want to test shipping shrimp and fish. So basically, it'd be serving as a guinea pig, allowing me to send them to you to see if they come out okay. So condition number one that I didn't even mention last time is you have to watch that far into the videos to reach the point where I even talk about it. I mean, if you only watch the first couple minutes, you're not even going to know. So that's one condition. So if you've made it this far, that's one. Number two, you have to live in the United States because I can't ship internationally. Number three, you would need to have a YouTube channel because I would like you to make a video of the unboxing because I want to see what happens. Whether it's the results are good or bad. I'd like to see how they do in shipping. I've never done it before. So make a video of the fish when you receive them, and I'd like to see updates along the way. So every once in a while, make some videos of the fish and plants. I mean, at the very least, you'll have some plants that'll last if the fish unfortunately don't make it alive or the shrimp. And so that's three conditions. Number four would be you'd have to be willing to share your address with me so that I can send them to you. And the fifth one would be to see how much you've been paying attention to my videos. Every once in a while, I like to amuse myself and put in some like movie references, things like that. Like when I said for free, I didn't make that up. What's that from? It's from a movie. Along the way, I've mentioned like movie references, TV show references, things like that. If you can name 3 references that I've added or just casually put into videos, and then mention 3 references and meet all the conditions, the first person to do that gets some fish if you want some. And just to give you a hint, for free, if you know what that is already, that's one. And along the way, I have a playlist that has parodies. I mean, you can pick up find some from there if you're not familiar anyway. So that's enough if I even know what I'm talking about there. But does that make sense? Would you like to have some fish? So the fish I would be willing to give away, I'll show you. So some fish from my 30-gallon planted live bear community tank. So a pair of platies and a pair of guppies. Pretty much most of the fish would be up for grabs. Like, let's see, there's a couple that I wouldn't make available, like this one right here. It's calico platy, but like the brightest platies or the tuxedo platies, or some of the common ones, and have a pair of guppies, either from this tank or perhaps if you might be interested in some wild guppies. These are, they're not fancy guppies, but they're still pretty cool. So either a pair of guppies from my 30-gallon or a pair of guppies from here, and some neocaridina shrimp. So this is my 3.5-gallon neocaridina shrimp tank. So, maybe a half dozen shrimp I'd take out of here. I'd probably exclude the blue ones and give red ones because I don't have that many blues of my own, but if you'd like to have some shrimp, yeah. So guppies, platies, shrimp, and plants. As for plants, you can have some Java moss, some Anacharis, Bacopa, maybe some Java fern, Ricciofluitans, or even some duckweed if you'd want it. Yeah, so If you're interested, leave a comment, meet all those conditions and requirements. First person to do so, I'll send some fish, and I'd like to do it by, maybe the beginning of next week. I'm not promising any time, whenever I get a chance to, but I do want to do it before it gets too hot, because I live in the Mojave Desert and we're going to be approaching 100 plus days for 3 months, so before it gets too hot, so I can get a chance to send those. All right, sound good? You interested? Meet those conditions, leave a comment. First person to do so will get some. If no one does, then whoever is the closest. So there's one person that's actually has done 4 out of 5 so far. If you can be the first to do 5 out of 5, you can assure that it will be you. All right. Well, that's it for now. And remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Thanks for watching.